Stakeholders in the nation's electoral process have faulted the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission not to conduct by-elections into 3 senatorial seats, which became vacant about 4 months ago following the resignation of the occupants. Now, the commission had yet to conduct by-elections into the Senate seats in Nasarawa, Borno and Zamfara states as constituents lament non-representation in the National Assembly. The vacancies were declared following the emergence of Senators Abdullah Adamu and Abubakar Kyari as the National Chairman and Deputy National Chairman North of the All Progressives Congress, respectively, on March 26, while Adamu represented Nasarawa West Senatorial District, Kyari represented Borno North until their resignation on April 12. And also, Senator Muhammad Hassan Nasiha of the Zamfara Central Senatorial District on March 1 resigned after he was named as the Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, sequel to the removal of Mahdi Aliyu Gusau. And to discuss more on this, I have with me Chibuzo Okereke, who's a co-founder of Hallow Maize Foundation, the organization that has been putting this issue at the front burner. And I just talked to you about this. Why the concerns about this issue when we have a fresh election very close by? I mean, isn't it right for INEC and, of course, the National Assembly leadership to refuse to declare a vacancy in those positions, because we already have an election that's ahead of us just a few months, and then, of course, fresh nominations have already been done. Why do we need to conduct another separate by-election when we already have a general election close by?
Unfortunately, it's not within their powers to make such a determination. You see, this is a constitutional matter. Section 76(2) of the Constitution provides that INEC shall conduct elections to fill these vacancies within 1 month. The only time INEC is allowed to, leave it to add to the fresh election is when it occurs within 3 months to the election. That provision is express, and we are talking about democracy, we are talking about constitutionalism, we are talking about representation. If these things maybe was going on with the executive, you will be hearing about constitutional crisis. But unfortunately, this is part of executive attempt to continue to undermine the legislature. All over the world, democracy takes premise with the composition of the legislature. The Constitution in Section 49 provides that the House of Reps shall be made of 360 members, not 359, not 358, not 350. The Senate also 109, not 108. And thereabout. So if you have natural issues that have maybe people died or people resigned, the Constitution also within the far sight foresaw this kind of issue and mandate INEC to conduct elections. And I have to say this, INEC is a creation of the Constitution, and INEC is in deep search for electoral integrity, trust with the people.
Yeah, what if INEC is trying to save the country loads of monies, and then shouldn't you be directing your request to the President of the Senate, who's the Chairman of the National Assembly? Because if he hasn't declared vacancies, why would INEC go there and conduct elections? Or in the State Houses of Assembly, aren't you supposed to be directing to the speakers of the State Houses of Assembly?
All those people have gotten notice of what we're talking about, and we know also that it is not, you see, we must do everything to protect our Constitution. It is not within their powers to break the law. You can't save money for us and break the law. You have to make sure there is a multi-stakeholder engagement. In any case, think about a situation where members and senators who passed on had nominated projects for their constituency in the 2022 budget, and the executive arm of government are making efforts to execute those projects. And by the provisions of the administrative protocol, you are to engage that constituency to know what you have to do for them. And now they don't have that voice. The legislature is about numbers. That's why you hear about 2/3, 1/3, 1/5. Now, when you begin to remove people in the process of lawmaking, their voices are not there and laws are passed. Oversight section 88 and 89 are going on. People from the constituency, they have petitions. Some of them has been unjustly removed from their work. They have petition. There are community crisis. They need to engage the constituency office and their representative. That's why the Constitution said reasonable period of only 3 months ahead of the general election.
So why don't you pile pressure on the Speaker of the House of Reps or the President?
We are aware that...
why are you putting pressure on INEC?
Because the law already, the Constitution is the grand norm. Every other law is subject to the Constitution. What the Constitution says is that INEC, this is what you have to do. And again, it's even public knowledge that all these people have resigned. The resignation letter that is public automatically takes effect.
No, but based on the National Assembly precedents, unless the President of the Senate or the President or the Speaker of the House of Representatives writes to INEC and say, look, there's a vacancy in this seat, they can't do that unless the Speaker writes to the state, maybe Independent Electoral Commission or the INEC. That cannot happen.
But we have credible information that some of this activity have already taken place. Even an INEC spokesman says there are issue of court and insecurity or what have you. These are not excuses. In fact, INEC needs this election more than any other because we are going into 2023 and the National Assembly will officially dissolve sometime in June. From now till June, my brother, is a long period for you to deny a people representation. Every Nigerian has at least 3 levels or 4 levels of representation. You have the councillor in charge of your ward. You have the House of Rep composed on the population of states, so that you don't represent more than one state, you know, within your constituency. So this is how key this process has been designed, to ensure that the people have a voice. Because think about it. What is this democracy about? About legitimacy, about popular participation, about the voices of the people, about majority.
Yeah, now, so why are you not approaching the courts? If INEC and the National Assembly or State Houses of Assembly are not doing what the law expects them to do?
This is advocacy we are doing at the Halomates Foundation, because this is our call. We believe at the foundation that we should first of all engage the stakeholders by any means. We hope that INEC is not thinking about waiting till February 2023 to conduct those elections.
Well, we haven't had INEC's preparedness. It's clear that that's what they're actually doing.
That would amount to, you know, breaking the law. And at the time you are in search of integrity and public trust, you can't break the law. So the Halomates Foundation, we are taking this initial advocacy, you know, steps, engaging stakeholders. Thank God, Arise is giving us platform to express ourselves and the need. Look, this is very important. Yeah, even the vote a member cast in parliament is critical for the people.
Yeah, but let's try to be fair to these institutions too. If you conduct a senatorial election at this moment and then someone emerges and then you come again in February next year, just how many months left? 6-7 months left. You come again. And isn't that a waste of taxpayer? Isn't that a cost to our democracy?
No, you see, the rule of law is about equality before the law and obedience to the law. You cannot, for whatever purpose, deliberately break the law. If you want,
where's the place of discretion?
If you want, the Constitution is not where you show discretion. You show discretion with subsidiary legislation. The Constitution is the grand norm. If we begin to interpret the Constitution to impart on cost of implementing it, then you're going to have us being in a state of anarchy. People can wake up one day and cause confusion. So this, for us, is very crucial. So think about it. The constitutional amendment is going on. Constituencies at the state level are currently voting, and some people are not part of it.
All right.
And by the time it comes back here, the same process. Look at 2023 budget is going to come soon from the executive. These same people will have no voice.
I'm not sure we'll have to discuss this issue.
It shouldn't be the case.
Chibuzo Okereke is the co-founder of the Halomates Foundation, the organization which is bringing this to the fore. And I think it's a very good advocacy. We just hope the institutions will listen and, of course, do what the law says. Though I'm suspecting that they are doing what they are doing because of the issues of discretion. But we must thank you for being on the show. Well, that has been for this edition of the Arise interview. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Sam Nasambo.